we're going to jump into some different body systems that the gut health affects. So first off, let's talk about the gut brain connection. I told you we were coming back to this. So the gut is often referred to as the second brain. So why in the world? That doesn't make sense. Like I had no clue they had any connection at all. So serotonin, this is our feel-good neurotransmitter. And you guys, I can't even believe this when I read this. 95% of serotonin is produced in your gut. 95%. So doesn't it make sense that you would feel sad or depressed or in a funk if your gut health was off, if 95% of your serotonin was affected? Like, that is crazy. That's affecting the majority of your feel-good hormone. No wonder we don't feel good. Like,
right?
Wow. That statistic just blew me away.
I had never heard that until you shared it. And that was when I was like, she needs to come talk. Everybody needs to hear Bailey.
That mind blown emoji, like every time, like I swear. And also your brain, it communicates with your gut through your vagus nerve. So this is a nerve which actually is involved in your digestion, your metabolism of your nutrients, telling your body what to metabolize. So you're actually gaining something out of your food, as well as your gut permeability. That's that gut health we talked about, where the lining, we want that to stay close together, no gaps. So if your gut is dysfunctioning, so is your brain. This nerve runs all the way from your brain all the way to your stomach. Like it's affected, directly connected. So, and remember how we talked about the leaky gut causing inflammation? Well, this goes for your brain too. So when your gut is inflamed, so is your brain. They're so closely connected. And inflammation can affect the brain and your nervous system and cause things like anxiety, depression, irritability, mood swings. It's amazing how many people out there struggle with these type of things. And I don't think they have any idea that it's tied so closely to their gut health. Like, that's not where you would think to address when you're talking about your brain, but that is like the first place now that if I have people asking with questions or need help with those areas, I'm like, let's get this gut health under control and see what happens. And it's amazing how fast changes happen just from addressing your gut health. So, and it's even like big things, you guys, like depression, anxiety, ADHD, dementia, Alzheimer's, OCD, insomnia, fatigue. All of these are affected by your gut health. Like, those are major things. Like, it just makes me want to like shout from the rooftops, because I know there's so many people that struggle with this. So think of how many people's lives would drastically change if they knew this. And actually, Dr. Uma Nato, she has a great book called This Is Your Brain on Food. She actually shared a study of a group of people that for 4 weeks, they were treated with a probiotic. The study showed that these people had similar results to those treated with Prozac. Crazy. Like, that's another, like, I just mind blown all the time, like I said. But if someone
has a whole other podcast, but
yes. But if they had the choice of taking Prozac versus a probiotic, of course they would want the probiotic. Like, yes, like, it's just, wow. Like, so amazing that study was done and the results they had. So I just had to mention.
Can we just talk about like the budget thing there too? Yeah. Like, it's way easier on your budget, you don't have to go get something written and file it with insurance. And
right, if you could take a probiotic and eat some sauerkraut, like, yeah, that, or kombucha or whatever, like. And another thing that our gut health affects that is huge is our hormones, you guys. Gut hormone connection. So when your hormones are off balance, how do you feel?
Your poor husband never knows what to expect.
All kinds of things. So there's so much new research coming out with gut health, but showing that the microbiome plays a big role in our estrogen regulation. So definitely, ladies, that part for us, but these studies indicate that the poor gut health increases the risk of estrogen related diseases. Like, these are things like PCOS, endometriosis, infertility, breast cancers. Like, all of those are estrogen related diseases. So, and there's so many people like having painful periods caused by PCOS and everything that I just like, can't believe that it's tied to gut health. So think of how many women that you know in your life that struggle with these. Like, there's so many. Do you think that they would make changes? I think they would. I would. Like, and I know some of you listening to this, you've been down that path before, and maybe you did, overcome these things, but crazy. Because a lot of things out there, like things like PCOS, endometriosis, autoimmune, a lot of people are told that there's nothing you can do. You just have to manage your symptoms. And I just want to say, no way. Like, I want to scream that. Like, your body is amazing. If someone tells you there's nothing you can do and you just have to deal with it the rest of your life, you need to go find someone else or do your own research and get out there, because your body is amazing. And if it's given the right tools, it can do amazing things. So I just had a quick story about this was Nicole, and I have the full article if anyone wants to read it, but just kind of a summary. She was a young girl in her early 20s, and she was having really painful periods. And after going to her doctor, she found out she had over a dozen ovarian cysts, which are super painful and cause horrible monthly cycles, like not fun at all. So she was officially diagnosed with PCOS. So her doctor prescribed her birth control pills to treat it. That was the answer, which that's a whole other topic too.
I'm dying inside.
Christian's like holding back. But Nicole, so she, thank goodness, decided that she wanted to try some other things first. So she focused on that. Just didn't sit well with her. And I mean, I think we all have that feeling when we're given an answer like that, like, this doesn't sound right. Like, I know there has to be a better option. So if you ever feel that feeling, you go with that feeling. That's your gut feeling. We're talking about gut health, right? So she focused on eating healthier and cleaning up her gut and getting active and starting to exercise and different things like that. Basically giving her gut and her body some love, the things that it needed. So 4 months later, she went back to her doctor's office. She had 0 cysts, like all dozen of them were gone from what the changes she had made to her health. Like, and she never took that birth control, like crazy. So, and there's so many stories like this, you guys, that people have done the same things. And when we see something like that, we just got to tell other people that are suffering with it, like, you have answers. Like, I just hate to ever see anyone in a place of hopelessness. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like that breaks my heart when I see something like that. So,
and 4 months, like, is that time worth it? Like, it's right. 1/3 of a year. Is that hard? I mean, it seems like a long time, but really though, like a lifetime diagnosis of symptoms or 4 months to fix it. I mean, I know what I'd choose.
Exactly.
I believe that it would be worth it.
Exactly. And and you're worth it. Whoever's listening to this, like, you are worth it. Like, making those small changes.
That's a paradigm that I had to tackle. So I was like, I'm not worth it anymore. Like, we've poured too much money into fixing all my problems. Yeah, I had to work on that one too.
Yeah. And I'm so glad, like, Kristen has this podcast and things like this to share with people and encourage them. Because sometimes when you're in that position, you feel so alone and just tired and discouraged, and just giving, that little boost, like, you can do this. Like, there's people out there cheering you on is amazing. So, which I'm so glad that I met Kristen in our community and brought us together and have her as a friend, because she cheers me on too. So, now this is something that we didn't talk about. So that was hormones and brains. Now, children. So we touched on this a little bit. This is a passion, like I said, because I got to take care of my babies. Like, they are my world. I don't like seeing them sick or suffering. I want them to be happy and healthy and feeling their best. And I feel like a lot of parents are not given clear answers and just kind of like, well, there's nothing we can do. So that's not an answer, especially when you tell that to a mama bear. That does not go over well. You do not tell a mama bear there's nothing you can do for your child, because they are always, that's their job in them to take care of that child. So, so just like us as adults, the bacteria in our children's gut play a huge role in keeping them mentally and physically healthy. So this is something that's huge with kids right now, is constipation. It's a huge problem. Like, and so many are just prescribed a laxative, which turns this whole cycle of back and forth, just recurring constipation, diarrhea. It's just, and it never solves. It's kind of like a Band-Aid rather than a solution. Like, here, we'll just fix it for now, but it's going to be back in a couple months or a week or two. So, they're not taking care of the underlying issue when we're doing stuff like this. So fixing that gut flora and getting those good pre and probiotics in there is what we want to do. So some things.
Pause for a second again. I need to redirect him. He's banging on the door.
Yeah. Okay, so constipation. This is a huge problem for kids. A lot of children are prescribed laxatives, which creates this whole cycle back and forth, constipation, diarrhea, and it's really sad because that's traumatizing to kids. And I feel like it's another Band-Aid solution. Like, let's just put this on here to treat this, but not get to the root cause of the problem. So, and we want to get to the underlying, what is that gut microbiome, filling it with good prebiotics and probiotics, all that good stuff. So things you can do if you have a child that struggles with constipation, or yourself. A lot of adults have this problem too. So drinking your water. This is a thing that comes with kids because, like you said, Kristen, kids just it's hard to get them to drink water sometimes. So getting them on that routine, maybe making their water a little fun. I know we have like vitality drops that we like for the kids, and they actually have electrolytes in them. Yeah, and they make it taste really yummy. Like, I actually have some in my water right now. So,
ooh, which flavor?
The tangerine one. I love that one. It's my favorite. Yep. But they're so good, and it gets them drinking their water, and I don't have to worry about, sketchy things, because there are little squirty things out there on the market that are full of like the fake sugars and things like that. So we don't want those ones. But
dyes.
Dyes. We'll be talking about dyes. Those are coming up. That's a whole topic too, food dyes. But yeah, so sweetened with something good like that, or even just adding a vitality oil, or even some fruit, just to give it a little flavor, and just getting them in the habit of water before, juices and things like that. So getting your kid on a probiotic, this is huge. This is something that probably a couple years ago I didn't do daily, and we've started to make sure that we do it every day. Just because that immune system thing, like Edwin is in preschool this year. Like, I don't want him bringing home every little thing he is around at school. So just supporting his immune system that way by giving him his daily probiotic, and I give it to him right at bedtime. They love them. We found these little ones that taste yummy too. So that's a bonus, but they ask for them. So that's a great thing when your kids ask for their vitamins. That's a great blessing. But they just give them at night. It has all night to work its magic with no food in the way. And I just feel that that's helping, like we talked about, the brain connection. Kids need that too. Like, how many kids are struggling with stressful situations or attention disorders, things like that, like just helping their little minds and all that, and their immune system. So that's a huge one.
And their brain is developing. Like, ours are already there. They just need to be like kept alive. Theirs are growing. Like, it's crazy.
Yes.
What that can do.
So important. Yes. While they're little, like you said, starting it when they're young. And another thing that kids struggle with is skin issues. There's so many kids out there all the time that are struggling with skin issues. And this is something, and even adults have skin issues too, but things like eczema, psoriasis, these are all a reflection of your gut health. So that is a signal for your body. Like, your skin is your first, it's your body, a way of your body detoxing. So when something shows up on your skin, your body's trying to get rid of something. It's kind of like a signal, like, help, I need to get this out. So that's that little alarm, that alert, like, hello, I need help. Your body's screaming for you. So when people have skin issues, we normally think of a topical cream, right? Everybody's always like, what do I put on it? And we need to think past that. We need to think, what do we work from inside? So
even in the natural world, it's so easy to be like, well, just slap something on it. It's like, no, but we have to get to that, fix the problem. Don't just layer an oil.
So a lot of children, they're prescribed antibiotics in their early years. And this, like we talked about, wiping out all that good flora. So they're taking out all the good and the bad. And I feel like that's why a lot of kids have these skin issues, because they're on a constant rotation of antibiotics. So they never get the chance to build up that good gut bacteria. So their poor little guts, which, like you said, their brains are still growing. Same with their gut lining. When you're born, your gut lining isn't fully there. Like there's still kind of gaps in it. It's still growing and, things, it's still immature. So building that gut flora back up is so important. So anytime a mama reaches out to me and asks, like, what do I do for my kid? They have eczema. I immediately say, let's get a probiotic and focus on that gut health and go through all the gut health things. That's the first thing. And just like us, the kids have the gut brain connection, like we talked about. So if their gut flora is off, it's going to affect their mood and their focus. Things that kids struggle with, like ADHD, autism, and behavioral issues, are linked to gut health. Anything that is in our food, like the food dyes, like we just brought that up a little bit ago, flip over your labels. You guys will be shocked at what kind of things food dyes are in. Like even pickles I saw the other day had a yellow dye in it. And I was like, are you kidding me? A pickle? Like what? But all these colorful things, and there's so many alternatives out there. Like there's some great, like even cereals that are colored with like beetroot powder and turmeric, and they look just as fun and colorful, and it doesn't have the food dyes in it. So you can get you don't have to give up and eat like cardboard. Like your kids can still have fun food. Like you don't have to.
I don't know why that was hitting just like that, but
well, I feel like some people feel that, like they think like I have to give up everything and I'm just gonna sit here and woe is me, eat cardboard the rest of my life. And it's like, no, there's so many fun. I mean, fruit and vegetables are like the most colorful things out there anyway. And I even we made Valentine cookies, and we found a great food coloring from Color Kitchen, and they have sprinkles too. And we made the cutest little Valentine cookies, and they were pink, and they were colored with beetroot powder was what made it pink. So it was
and you wouldn't know the difference because I saw them in your stories, and I was like, oh cool, I'm assuming that's like a healthy option here.
Right. They were just so colorful and vibrant, and it's like they're just as fun. And we didn't have to use the red dye number 40 and have all kinds of, wait for the kids to have like a fit or mood. And a lot of those food dyes are linked to even cancer. So it's like, no, we don't want those in our stuff. So definitely. And another thing that kids struggle with, I believe, is growing so much, is food allergies. So many children struggle with food allergies. Yes. And it all goes back to our gut health. So healing that gut. So they need more digestive enzymes, more probiotics, like all that good probiotic rich food to help with that allergy, because that's the inflammatory response. When you have a food allergy, that's your body responding to, like we talked about, the inflammation and the leaky gut and things like that. Your body is like, I can't handle this, like get it out. So how do you repair your children's guts? We talked a lot about our adults, but most important, like we talked about with adults, get the kids on a probiotic. I think that's the easiest thing. And even when they're like tiny, they even make baby probiotics. Like there's so many things. And mama's breast milk, that's an amazing gut healer for the tiny little infants. So that if you can breastfeed, that's even better. Giving them digestive enzymes. I saw a picture recently of someone, and enzymes can be found in our food. It's not as plentiful as it used to be, just because of the way farming practices are and pesticides and different things like that. So we do take a supplement enzyme for us and the kids. But I saw recently someone had a picture of 2 bowls of oatmeal, and they put a digestive enzyme in one and the other one was just plain. And it was crazy. You saw the oatmeal like breaking up right before, it was crazy in the picture. It was like, so if that's happening inside our body, it's helping us break up our food and absorb our nutrition better. So we don't want to eat all this good, healthy food for us and just go out the other end. You want to absorb the nutrients and actually impact your health. So I think enzymes are underrated. I think probiotics are important, but enzymes are just as important. Cutting out their food dyes, cutting back on sugar. You guys, this one may be hard at first because everything marketed to kids is so full of sugar, and it is an addiction. Maddening. Yes, it's insane. You will flip over that. That's another label, readers, mamas. Flip that label over and see how much sugar's in it, because it it's some things you don't even think, like ketchups and just stuff that you don't even consider as a sweet food or a dessert. There's so much sugar in them sometimes. So just making those small changes.
Get familiar with those names, like hidden names for sugar, because that shocked me. I was like, that's sugar too? Like maltodextrin is sugar too? Yeah.
Yes.
And they like to put that in all the non-sugar foods. I'm like, wait a second.
Yes, so many sneaky names. It's like you have to just research and learn, and that's why
it's like joining the ultimate spy club. It's like, I know things now.
Like I've cracked the code. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, working like little by little, like if your kids are used to it, just taking little steps, because it is an addiction. Like they've done studies where sugar and cocaine have similar in brain scans. It's crazy how that addiction works. So and same with us adults, it's an addiction for us too. So if you feel like you're on that sweet kick, and that's why healing your gut is going to help with some of those cravings too, and giving your body that good stuff. You're not going to have so many of those cravings. And then cutting out the GMO foods. So especially on your little ones, like think of it even this way, like that little bug we talked about, then there's big adults, and then there's small kids. Like they're even more affected by it than we are actually. And adding in the fermented foods, like a plain yogurt is the easy one to give the kids. Like you said, you got doing the kefir. That's awesome.
Screaming for it. Yeah.
He wants the kefir. My kids love kombucha. So just trying little things like that and getting them introduced to the probiotic rich foods like that. And then adding in more fruits and vegetables, getting those antioxidants and all that good stuff. So that is always a good one. And drinking our water, we talked about. So I feel like the kids list is pretty much the same as the adult list. It's just the same things. Like they're just tiny and we're bigger. So it's all the same things to healing that gut and getting it better. But I think that's all that I had for today. That was a lot of information. So I thank you guys so much for hanging out. And if you have any questions or anything, Kristen, I don't know if you have anything else to add, but yeah, just so important.
I don't think I could top that. But yeah, that was great. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out and working through this despite all of my interruptions. You guys have no idea how many times we stopped and hit unrecord, no, stopped the recording and restarted it. And Bailey's kids did great. Like I didn't hear either one of them.
Yes, I am like, it's a miracle. It's probably not good that they were this quiet. I'll probably go find a mess upstairs when I go back up, but that's okay. Mama's getting stuff done. Sometimes we got to do things.
Right. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on and speaking, and for everyone for watching or listening, depending on where you found us. But I will put Bailey's Instagram information in here, and y'all know where I am, so you don't need mine. But you can reach out to us if you have more questions. I'm sure Bailey would love to answer them for you. Bailey and I both have some probiotics and enzymes that we just adore and love. For compliance's sake and not having to take this video down, we're not going to name them. But if you want to know more about them, if you know Bailey, reach out to Bailey. If you know me, get a hold of me. But we'd love to tell you what we use and what our kids love and what we love, but we'll keep that in the private conversation so that this information can stay out there for everybody to learn from. So thank you, Bailey. That was so much fun. And who knows, maybe we'll have to have you back again sometime soon.
That would be fun. I would love that. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll talk to everyone again next week.